Welcome to this latest video from DPP Planning. The Prime Minister has announced a raft of changes in investments to try and boost the economy following the coronavirus pandemic. Among them has been some changes to planning. Joining me today is Bob Robison, Director of DPP, to explain some of these changes and what their impact might be. Bob, hello.
Hello.
So, Bob, under these new rules that they're proposing, existing commercial properties, including newly vacated shops, can be converted into residential housing more easily. What impact do you think that will have on our town centres, and how easy do you think that will be?
In terms of the change to residential, it's probably the one element of the town centre proposals that do cause me some concern. I have no issue with the broadening of the range of commercial uses and allowing an easier interchange of uses in that context. That's been a long time coming, I feel. The problem with introducing residential development in what is potentially going to be an unplanned arrangement is that it could actually have a negative impact on some of the uses that will be important for the future of the town centre. So, for example, whilst obviously pubs and other community facilities, and I would hope music venues, are going to be protected from the presumption in favour of the change to residential, there is the concern over the indirect impact of introducing residential development. One of the key issues that happened last year was the introduction of the agent of change principle, which meant that introducing residential development, you had to take account of the impacts of your proposed use on the existing operations like pubs. And it came very much on the back of residential developments being implemented in town centres. And then the residents of those users complaining about the noise from the town centre users. And it led to many music venues in particular being closed down. My fear with the new rules are that we're going to go back to the old system with the lack of control. The detail is the important part of it, and the detail we yet haven't seen. Interestingly, though, there was the announcement yesterday about the permitted development rights for building above existing premises to provide residential uses. And we have got a flavour in there of the type of controls that will still be applied as part of the prior approval process. And it's pretty clear that there are still many obstacles to go through before you would get your approval. So in many senses, it's simply applying for planning permission, just in a slightly different form. But again, we have to see what the detail is when the papers are issued.
And do you think it's a positive that builders will no longer need a normal planning application to demolish and rebuild properties, or do you think that it could have a negative effect, maybe turning town centres into a mishmash of different types of buildings and such like?
I think there is that danger, but again, I think we have to see the detail. It could be that a lot of this is just window dressing in many respects. And in actual fact, the requirements that you will need to go through to get your consent will be very, very similar to a planning application. Another part of the announcement yesterday was by the Prime Minister was that we're going to build green and build high quality. So there needs to be some mechanism in there for imposing those requirements. So I don't think it's going to be quite the free-for-all. The big concern for me, I think, is that what we're not going to get on the back of this is going to be affordable housing, because obviously the normal requirements to provide for affordable housing probably will not be part of the requirements to fulfil the prior approval. And in that sense, I think there'll be a very large market in the residential sector that is still going to be unserved by these proposals.
Well, these changes are planned to come into effect from September, so it'll be very interesting to see what is in the detail, and we'll obviously be keeping a close eye on that. So stay tuned for more videos from DPP Planning, where we'll be discussing this and a lot of other issues as well. Bob, thank you very much.
Thank you.